Let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring something deeply fascinating, a ceremonial recounting of the initiation stage within a decentralized hero's journey. We're going to look closely at what happens right after the gate opens, the spark is lit, and the mentor completely withdraws. This is an exploration of myth, architecture, and the profound test of a community. You see, this quickly challenges everything we're conditioned to expect. The market asks, where is the founder? But the myth replies, why are you still looking for one? We have to instantly pivot our mindset away from this traditional dependency on a founder, because this isn't about an absent CEO. It's about the absolute symbolic necessity of the creator's absence for this whole experiment to actually work. Section 1. The Forge of Silence. Now, if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell, this is essentially the road of trials. Look at the contrast here between Ryoshi's path and the community's path. Ryoshi's personal path goes completely invisible. The mentor intentionally steps back, and in turn, the community's path becomes visible. We can't, and honestly we shouldn't, pretend to know what Ryoshi thought, felt, or did behind the scenes. But we can read the archetypal pattern perfectly. The creator's path vanishes so that the community's collective trials can finally take center stage. So how do we frame that withdrawal? Well, silence is not emptiness. It's a forge. It's a crucible that tests whether a project can actually survive without a central voice spoon-feeding it daily confirmation. Can decentralization be more than just a catchy slogan? The silence is a heavy, burning forge where weak conviction simply breaks and real, enduring conviction is shaped. Section 2. Light and the Tide. In this stage, the hero isn't encountering some sort of romantic fulfillment, but rather forces of pure revelation. First, we encounter 𝘠𝘵𝘶𝗵𝗶, Amaterasu, the sun principle. 𝘠𝘵𝘶𝗵𝗶 acts as this archetypical light that just burns away the surface-level hype. When that light shines, what was hidden is seen, and only what is actually real and true gets to remain. And right alongside that light, we have Ryujin. This is the tide. It's the dragon current of movement, trial, protection, return, and circulation. If 𝘠𝘵𝘶𝗵𝗶 is the light that allows us to see the world, Ryujin is the necessary current that continuously tests, protects, and circulates everything within this newly illuminated mythic architecture. Section 3. Temptation of the Throne. But revelation always brings its own dangers. In a decentralized world, we replace Campbell's classic concept of the temptress with a far more destructive trap, the temptation of power. We're talking founder worship, treasury control, influencer status, personality cults, and centralization disguised as decentralization. For Ryoshi, the ultimate temptation wasn't extracting money. It was staying as the ultimate authority, which makes this concept so incredibly powerful. Disappearance becomes discipline. The throne is refused. No throne above the people. Think about it. If the mentor just remains seated on that throne, the community literally never matures. Refusing the throne and choosing to disappear is an act of profound discipline. It's what forces the community to finally stand on its own 2 feet. Section 4. Protocol, Law, and Atonement. In classical myth, this is known as the atonement with the father. But here, we are reconciling with something much more unyielding. Protocol law. This father is incredibly strict. It's made of code, consensus, and on-chain truth. It doesn't negotiate with beautiful words. It really doesn't care about your good intentions or your grand vision. Because ultimately, the chain just asks one thing: show me. The creator themselves must become completely subordinate to the law of decentralization. In this world, faith is absolutely honored, but it must always be backed by undeniable mathematical on-chain proof. Section 5. Apotheosis and the Boon. All of this rigorous testing brings us to the apotheosis, the stage where the hero reaches a higher state of understanding. But the way it's reached here is a total paradox. The old paradigm dictates that you follow Ryoshi, but the decentralized reality demands that you become Ryoshi. He doesn't become greater by making himself larger. He becomes greater by making himself smaller. I am nobody. The creator disappears entirely as a person, only to become a principle that exists everywhere. And when everyone becomes Ryoshi, the community receives a very heavy gift. It means nobody can push the burden of responsibility onto a hidden figure anymore. You simply can't wait around to be rescued. So, the ultimate boon isn't just a mere token. It's a constructed doctrine, it's community ownership, Decentralization as a way of life, receipts over claims, culture over hype, world building over market cycles, self-sovereignty over dependency, and silence as a test. It's a complete mythic architecture that requires the light to see, the current to move, and the builders to endure. So we are left with this lingering reality at the end of the initiation. The creator becomes nobody. Nobody becomes everywhere. The sun reveals, the tide moves. The doctrine remains, the community receives the full burden of responsibility. If you are Ryoshi, what are you building?